Get to start following God.
Right.
I know it's something that you probably never heard in your life, but it's something that you must learn to do. You have to follow God, man. And Christ came to teach you in the flesh how to follow God.
Right.
That was what Christ's whole life was. He went from city to city, just like we do, teaching how to follow God in the right way, because there was people back then that taught lies too. There was people back then that taught false doctrines as well.
That's right.
It takes a man and a woman to make a child. So if a man is having sex with a man, guess what's not happening? You're not procreating. If a woman has sex with a woman, you're not procreating. So guess what? That means our numbers are gonna go down. Population control.
Talking about real love. Someone who can put his life down on the line so you can live, man. Keep going.
God, verse 21. I do not frustrate the grace of God.
I do not what?
I do not frustrate the grace of God.
I do not what?
I do not frustrate the grace of God.
We don't frustrate the grace of God, man. We don't tarry. We don't wait. We are aggressive, man. And on our aggression, we are going to serve God until the day we die, because we got to stay ready. And if we stay ready, we're going to get the kingdom of heaven, man. We're going to get the kingdom of heaven. There's no waiting when you come and serve God. Don't be patient to come and serve God. And in your grace, don't frustrate it.
The nations who oppressed you, who stole your land, who took your identity, who gave you bywords, you understand? If you join them, you're going to be destroyed with them. But if you turn to the Most High and keep His laws, statutes, and commandments, you're going to live in that terrible day when Christ returns. What did the Most High say? Read. I will bring plagues that I might bring.
I will bring.
I could bring.
I will bring.
I will bring. Read.
Plagues upon the world.
I'm going to bring what?
Plagues.
What?
Plagues.
What?
Plagues.
The Most High is going to bring plagues. And one of those plagues is known as the coronavirus, man. And you're afraid, like Donald Trump said, of the invisible enemy. Listen, there's going to be more plagues. The coronavirus ain't nothing compared to what the Most High got in store for the unfaithful and the wicked and the evil of this earth, man. That's right.
12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe to him, which means destruction to him who built a town on blood. How in the hell you think you can build something on blood and everything is going to be all right? You know, in the world they got something that's called karma. Well, in the Bible it's called you reap what you sow.
That's right.
You reap what you sow. And what you see right now is a white man reaping what he has sown in this earth, man. That's what he has sown. Bloodshed.
You were sadly mistaken, man. Right. This is the death of America. That's what this place is. The fall of Babylon. We have a song in our organization we like to sing. It goes something like this, right? Babylon is falling. So rise no more. Rise no more.
You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside. From the dust to the dawn outside. So in the morning outside, I'm catching wreck when they drawing outside. Cause it's a war outside. My sword drawn outside. This Excalibur, your bladder be all outside. Cause it's a war outside. I get it on outside. You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside. And that's a definite. Cannonball wrecking shit. Excellent. Rhyme Barack and bombing like the president. I remain strong. King Kong with the prevalence. I show you exactly what we do. That's how I represent. Hardcore. Heaven reticent. Chain on, hella bent, throwing all black when they spot me like the leopard print. Oh, I got the braids in, shades on, made men, cause we put in work to stop the earth until they change it. Walk strong, talk heavy, hold my own. You rock solid when we bout to leave the sword and stone. Nigga, we warriors, hardcore, tracking the pride. To let the Hebrew speak, nigga, general eyes. And we talking super heavy, nigga, that's the surprise. With all scripture, street talk, word to Captain the God. Nigga, we blazing, ripping the mic with all facts, doing the knowledge to the max till we cracking the pavement. UPK, y'all the one West Harlem, nigga. We spring forward and they falling like it's all.
I can shake your hand. I can respect you. You understand? I can respect you. You understand?
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said, sir. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result I'm selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity. Stay facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me, and let the whole world see that with them in the cage is safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slump. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Von Dale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. There was design 5 for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
All right, let's clap it up. Clap it up. It's the Wednesday night history law class. I'm precinct officer at the Walker Bar. Man, we ain't been back in a minute, but we back in the building. We're gonna go over some things. Of course, the title says the 10 Commandments. Did they come from the 42 laws of Ma'at? You got a lot of Black and Hispanic people, Black people that actually think that the 10 Commandments was plagiarized and they copied the Egyptians. So we're gonna get into that. I don't know what that is that's tweaking, but yeah, we're gonna get into that. What else? Let's give a hand to Captain Tazariak for getting that interview with Ye. Got that interview with Ye when nobody else could. And man, Captain Tazariak is a beast, man. He's been doing this. He's been killing, the conscious community, fake Israelites that call themselves Jewish. He's just, man, whoever you put in front of Captain Tazariak, he's going to come out on top, man. And, that just goes back to, the Isupk and the things that we've been taught in here, the things that Captain Tazariak has been taught, the things that I've learned from him, and just his decorum and the way he handles himself. Whereas a lot of brothers are, and I'm just talking about in the world, a lot of brothers are very emotional. And Captain Tazariak is the prime example on how to be when having a discourse with someone, debating, and all of that. So yeah, shout out to Captain Tazariak. I would love to get Captain Tazariak on a Black Authentic Truth episode where I could just interview him. It ain't like it's gonna be hard or nothing. I definitely can get that, but I would love, to put that on my platform. Also, I'll be having an interview with Commander General Yohana. I'm excited about that. The brothers are rude in speech. To Zaiwan, Ariyah. Listen, man, we gonna get it in. We gonna. There's a lot of things that we got coming where we're just trying to come together like Voltron, bring our forces together. They call us Power Rangers, but we're gonna come together with all that power. You know what I'm saying? With all the gifts, all of the things that different brothers have, all of the the knowledge, and come together and just take over this kingdom and teach Blacks, Hispanics the proper way from the home of the truth, their identity. What else I want to talk about? There was something I seen. I don't know. Somebody can put it in the chat if you could. What happened with Megan Thee Stallion? What happened with Megan Thee Stallion? If somebody could, I seen her going to court. There's a video where she's going to court, and that's all I seen, right? But I guess it's over the situation with Tory Lanez. I don't know what the outcome was, but I've seen some things. But I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything without knowing, the facts, right? So if there was an outcome to her going to court or whatever the topic may have been, I would like to know if somebody knows, because I just haven't had time to read up on it. I did come across a video that was very fast, a couple of seconds, with her walking into a courtroom. You got something?
Come on.
Go ahead.
It's about the court case it was the trial of Tory Lanez. She had to testify against him when he was accused of shooting her in the foot.
Well, I heard. Okay, so what I had came across is that basically she wasn't telling the truth. So maybe something came out that wasn't basically, because everybody been thinking that he shot her. So I'm thinking like, oh shit, something came out that she was lying or something like that. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to bring out. I wanted to bring out to the fact that on that particular video. So like, let me figure out what's going on. Something keeps clicking. Something is loose or something. But on that particular video, right? What I can do is just what I can do. On that particular video, Megan Thee Stallion, she had on purple, right? And she was covered. It was the first time I ever seen her covered, walking up into the courtroom. And I said, oh, so she's not half naked going into the courtroom. It's not WAP going into the courtroom. You know what I mean? She had clothes on. And this is the point I wanted to make. Like, sisters, you've been brainwashed in America. Because they tell you, They push this down your throat to be half naked, to show your body, to get that attention. And when, in reality, you would still look beautiful and you would still get that attention if you was covered up. Now, let me pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. I don't know if anybody seen this. Maybe there's a picture of her. And we know who pushes the music industry. We found that out with everything that happened with Kanye, right? Yeah, excuse me. We found that out who pushes it. And Charlemagne, when he had Leon Cohen on his show, and he basically said, "Why are you pushing? Why are these negative images? Why are you pushing these?" He said, "I got people to feed." Right? And that goes for the women too, because you might ask yourself, why every woman rapper I see is talking about the same thing? They're talking about sex, having, how many men they can lay with, how they can, take their money, all of that. The same negative, image and stereotype is also being pushed with black women in the music industry, and that's we know why. We know why. Let me see. See if I put in Megan Thee Stallion purple, right? Because she had that ain't gonna work. That was the wrong thing to put. That was the wrong thing to put. Courthouse. Right. This is a good picture. Let me pull this up real quick. We put this in the queue. Let's see if we make this bigger. So we're gonna go. Boom. Boom. Screen share this baby. Just bear with me. Got any questions, anything, go ahead and put them in the chat. We're running live on Hollywood Israelites, Isupk online class, One West online classes, and Isupk Nevada. Now look at this. Sister don't look bad, right? Sister still look good. You know what I mean? You mean to tell me a brother ain't gonna try to holler at that sister? He ain't gonna want to get to know that sister. You've been lied to. And what Megan Thee Stallion just showed you going in that courthouse is that she's been lying to you. She's been a puppet in destroying other black women, right? That's what she's been. Because clearly she got her act together when it was time to go in the courtroom. You understand? Let me see. Salaki, the picture, and here's the picture. Salaki. Clearly, she's been lying to you. She done pushed that image of sex and being half naked and your funky behind hanging out. When this is how she gonna handle her business. This is how she move in the real world. This is how Megan Thee Stallion, and who was the other one? Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. This is how they move when they go to do business. When they're going to handle their business. They put clothes on. You know why? Because nobody will respect them if they walked up in there half naked, how you see them on the video. Nobody will respect them. So that's a lesson for Black and Hispanic women to learn and to see and understand. You understand? Is that you don't have to be half naked to get any attention. A brother still, you're gonna get attention regardless. You're gonna get attention regardless, right? So let me drop that. So yeah, that's it on that. That's what I thought about, and I was like, you know what? This is a good example of how sisters should dress, but why are they not? See, she's pushing this image, but who are the people that run the music industry? The so-called Jewish man runs the music industry. Right. And we know that they have destroyed black men, and those negative images is the images they push because it's more money, but at the expense of God's chosen people. In the same way with these women, they push this, but it's at the expense because you know the saying, sex, money and drugs is what sells. And so they push this. It's okay for them to push it in our community, but they would never do this. They would never, promote these type of stereotypes and images in their own community. So that's just something to think about. Um, what else? What else has been going on in the news? There's been a lot of things. Oh yeah, we had the West Coast Cookout in Vegas, man. Let's clap it up for that. We had the West Coast Cookout in Vegas. That was, absolutely beautiful. That was like, if you wasn't there, you missed out. If you wasn't there, make sure you make it to the Passover. The cookout in Vegas is just a small glimpse of what the Passover would be, but on a much larger scale. The Passover will be in Raleigh, North Carolina. What is that? April 1st? April 1st. That'll be a Saturday, I believe. In Raleigh, North Carolina. But yeah, man, we'll pull up a video real quick. We had the West Coast Cookout in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? All the heavy hitters. Captain Zari, I see you would have had if you was from the West Coast, you would have had an opportunity, to talk, to chill, to chat with the generals, with the captains, with the brothers, with the sisters, and just get a good feeling, understanding of the ISUPK and how we move. Because from the outside, a lot of people feel like, from looking at, what is it, camp speakings and all of that, they have a idea about the school, about brothers and sisters in the school, and it's just not the case, right? You would have got to, really feel that spirit of brotherhood and see that we're just brothers and sisters just like you. We're that's one thing I learned in the truth when I met, the captains and the generals. When I first went to my first Passover, I was with Captain Kataza. I was with Captain Zakar. That's who I stayed with, me and Regalia. And right away, what you learn is that brothers is really brothers. Brothers really look out and care for you, right? And at the same time, we're just real, regular niggas, that serve the Lord. That's it. That's all. It's not no spookiness to it. It's not no holier than thou to it. It's just, we just black and Hispanic men that keep the commandments. And you find out that a lot of brothers, most of the brothers in ISUPK, they are so genuine and so humble. Like Commander Jenny Hanna, man, you would not even, you think of a leader like, you think because of Christianity and your Christian pastor, you think a leader is puffed up and, he doesn't have a lot of time. And, it's just a fleeting moment when you meet him. It's not like that when you meet these generals. It's not like that when you meet General Hyman. General Hyman really will take time and have a discussion with you, have a counsel with you, sit down and understand you, and listen to you. And man, it's this great brotherhood within the ISUPK. And man, if you wasn't at that cookout, you missed the hell out, man. Not to mention the food was good too. That chicken, I wish I could get some of that chicken right now. Let me put this video real quick. Yeah, man, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to crush the Egyptologists, the Afrocentrists, the Kemetic, the conscious brothers and sisters. I'm going to crush that idea using universal practical knowledge that the 10 Commandments came from the 42 laws of Ma'at. I'm going to crush it. You understand? With just practical knowledge. That's it. Just things that make sense and are practical, right? Let me find this video real quick so I can put this up for y'all. I'll look for the video. We're going to get into some scriptures, right? We're going to get into some. So, what did I ask you for?
Book of Proverbs 27:1.
Proverbs 27:1, man. This is something that a lot of Black and Hispanic people need to hear. Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth.
Man, you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful that you are not in control of your life or your situation, right? There is a greater design in what happens in this world, right? And a lot of times we are very sure of ourselves and filled with pride, and we're so sure and we're so focused and we're so full of the Christian spirit in life that we forget to be thankful for the small things.
Right.
And what I mean is that we'll make plans, and we'll say we're going to do this and we're going to do that and we're planning to do this, when in reality you don't know what tomorrow may bring. In reality, you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow morning, right? And that is reality for a lot of people in the world. Go ahead.
So like you can finish. I got a question.
You got a question? All right. That is the reality for a lot of people in the world. People die every day.
Right.
People die of old age. People die of accidents. People die of stupidity, of their own foolish, decisions. So don't be so prideful and boast about what you're going to do. Always say, Lord willing, I'll be at the Passover. Lord willing, we're gonna do it big at the Passover. Lord willing, I'm going to take my whole family to the Passover, right, in Raleigh, North Carolina. Because I'm not for sure, right? I don't want to boast and be prideful and think that things are going to happen because I say they're going to happen. Read it from the top.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow.
Boast not thyself of tomorrow. Right? Go ahead.
For thou knowest not what a day may bring forth.
You don't know what a day may bring forth. And not just that you don't know if you're going to be alive tomorrow. So don't tell somebody like, it's for sure I'm going to do this tomorrow. But it's also just a mindset. And it's not just that I'm saying that you don't know if you're going to be alive or you're going to die, but it's also, something may happen in your family where you can't be there tomorrow, where you can't, go do what you said you were going to do. You don't know what tomorrow may bring. So you cannot be for sure, right? You cannot be positive that things are going to go the way you think they're going to go. That's why I say always be thankful in all things.
Right.
Say to the Lord, say to your brother or your sister, yeah, Lord willing, I'll be there. Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow, bro. Lord willing, I'm gonna make that appointment. I'm gonna be there. You know what I mean? You don't really know, and so we're like Black and Hispanic people. We be in that spirit where we just know stuff is gonna go down. We got it. They got what they call planners and organizers, where you plan stuff. You don't plan to vacate. You don't plan to, you're going to do this on this day, 6 months down the line. You don't know that's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to have your health 6 months down. You don't know what could happen in between that time, whether it's 6 months or it's tomorrow. Read it from the top one more time.
Oh, God. The book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth.
Yeah, you don't know what a day going to bring forth. You don't know what is tomorrow. What tomorrow is going to bring. I'll be watching this, and I'm probably crazy for doing it, but I call myself wise. I watch this. It's a channel called what is it called? On Scene TV. It seems like they be out here in Southern California. They be in sometimes they have videos from Houston and other places, but they always on the scene of a car crash, like on a highway or a freeway, and it's always most of the time, not always, but most of the time, it's a fatality. And I started to realize, like, damn, people die every day just going to work, right? Just getting up, going to work. just on your day, on your regular routine, you're not doing nothing, out of line. You're following the laws and everything, and you die looking at your cell phone or on your way to work, slam into the back of a truck, right? Or maybe you the person that was just driving and some drunk driver slam into T-bone you, right? So my point is that horrible things happen to people every day. So you don't know what tomorrow will bring. But we make our election sure by keeping the law, statute, and commandments and doing the things that we're supposed to be doing and being mindful, because I believe it's in Ecclesiastes, what is that, chapter 7, where it talks about, I'm paraphrasing, where your mind, how can I say it? It says the day of death is better than one's birth. The day of your death is better than your birth. But it also talks about a fool's mind is always in mirth, like a person that doesn't consider anything. They're always happy. They're always, in the spirit of partying. They never really contemplate death. They never really contemplate, things that could go wrong, right? And that person is more foolish than the person that does contemplate those things. That's why I say a person that contemplate those things, it's a sign of wisdom. It's a sign of being like, wait, hold up. I know I'm not in control. I know I don't run this thing. Instead of always being so sure about yourself and always boasting and thinking that your plans and what you plan to do is going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know. You have no idea and no clue, right? And you're running on an empty tank of mercy from the Most High, and you don't even know it. Go ahead, I. You want that? The day of one's death. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth.
It says that the day of death is better than the day of read that again. Come on, you gotta read it.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth.
It says a good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death is better than one's birth. But we are raised in a society where we love vanity, where we say, "Happy birthday! It's my birthday, y'all! It's my birthday." It's what is the word? It's my born. When they try to act like they don't celebrate a birthday, it's my born day, y'all. Like as though they done ascended, or I don't really celebrate birthdays, but God, thank the Lord for 35 years. They try to go around it, because so much truth is out now. But the Bible says that the day of death is better than the day of birth. Why is the day of one's death better than the birth? Why do you think that? Go ahead.
Because you die, you can celebrate what you had done. And the day you're born, you ain't done that
Right,
yet.
right. That's exactly right. What the brother said is when you die, you celebrating what you've done, right? Meaning you done lived a whole life and you done had all different accomplishments. You done had children. You have memories to look back on, good times, bad times that you got through. And that's something to look back on and celebrate. But when you're born, you ain't did nothing. There's no record. If you was to be born, and this has happened before. If you was to be born, stillborn, or you were just to be born and then you die 3 days later from some complications, you haven't lived a life. You haven't done anything. Right. But if you were somebody that had a line, you had children, you got grandchildren, you got memories, you served in the military. I'm just giving an example, but you did some things with your life. You bungee jumped. You had some very, very low times. Sometimes when you didn't think you was going to get through, but you made it through. And the people that were with you that know about the things you went through, you persevered and you triumphed, they can celebrate that life that they look by like, dang, he did that. He went through a lot, or she accomplished a lot in her life. She was a good person. She lit up a room. You know, if you was down when she came in, you couldn't be down no more because she'd put a smile on your face. That's why, you know, the day of death is better than the day of one's birth is because you haven't done anything when you're born. You're just born. You're just a baby, right? And so to celebrate your birthday actually is a heathen custom. It's not even an Israelite custom. It never was an Israelite custom. We picked up celebrating birthdays from Europeans. That's where we picked up celebrating birthdays, just like everything else we celebrate today. Is you know what I mean? That so basically, going back to the scripture is like you don't know what will happen tomorrow. You don't know. So I think about something happening to me. I think about something happening to my children. It's not because I'm crazy or I'm grim or I worship Satan or something like that. You know, because people think you're crazy for talking about that or bringing those things up. But a wise person would contemplate these type of things. A wise person would contemplate these things, and then those things will make you appreciate life even more. It'll make you appreciate the Most High for giving you this truth even more. Right. You know what I'm saying? You'll appreciate where you're at. You'll appreciate the knowledge that you have. You'll appreciate the good sense that you got to make some good choices instead of making some dumb choices that can find you in an early grave, right? And you'll also understand, like, as an adult, what you do actually affects your children, right? So what you do, it may not come back on you, but it can come back on your children. So with all those things, combined, you have to be mindful of that, and you have to understand that tomorrow is not promised. Yes, I'm making these plans for tomorrow. Yes, I'm making these plans for my son's graduation. Yes, I'm making these plans, but also it's Lord willing. It's Lord willing. If the Lord will it so, I'll be there. I'll make it in good health, unscathed, driving, and Lord willing, I'll be at the West Coast Cookout. We made it to the West Coast Cookout unscathed, driving, 2.5 hours to get to Vegas. You know what I mean? You have to think like that. You know what I mean? Everything is of the Most High. If you could give me what I want, is it Deuteronomy 32:29? I kill, I heal, I make alive. This is one of my favorite precepts because this hits home. This lets you know the Lord ain't nothing to play with. And it also cuts Christian pastors and just the doctrine of Christianity that says that if something bad happens to you, it's the devil, right? That's not it. Just look up. Let me help you out. 32. 29? 39. It was 30. I said what I say. 32. 29. I said 32. 29.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive.
So the Lord said, see now that, there is no, I'm God, I'm he, and there is no one with me. He said, I what?
And I kill and I make alive.
I kill and I make alive. So the Lord kills. A lot of times we think that Satan is the one that's doing the killing. Satan is not slow. So Satan is not. A lot of times we think it's Satan. Satan is not killing you. Get to that too. Satan is not the one, right? Satan works for the Most High. That's in Job, in the first chapter of Job. But the Lord is the one that's doing it to you. Read it from the top again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me.
He said, I am he. There's no God with me. It's not the God of the Egyptians. It's not Sesra Boje. It's not white Jesus. It's Yahweh in the Hebrew.
Right.
Go ahead.
I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
The Lord said he wounds. First of all, he said he kills and he makes alive. He's the one that, you have that almost what's the term for it when you almost die?
Heart attacks.
No, when you come back.
Flatliners.
Not flatliners, but it's another term for it. Near death experience. When you have that near death experience, it's the Lord, right? When you are wounded, it's the Lord. A lot of times, people get, whether it be a health condition, it be an accident, or maybe you just out there in the streets, thugging and you get shot. Whatever the case may be, the Lord is the one that wounds you. And he's also the one that heals you. He's also the one that will, bring you back to health. A lot Black and Hispanic people suffer from, we suffer from all the bad things. So we suffer from the heart disease, the high blood pressure is like part of our DNA. That's like part of our DNA. But we suffer from all these health issues. And the Lord is the one that can heal you from those health issues. But if you're not keeping the commandments, what that mean? That means you're eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. Right. So the Lord is not going to heal you. You're going to keep taking those pills. You're going to keep going to the doctor and taking those pills until you die. Right. Until one day you just don't wake up. Until one day you have a heart attack in your sleep. You understand? But the Lord is the one that he's the one that do all these things. Right? The sister said resuscitate. Yes. When somebody almost drowned and they do CPR and then they wake up, they cough up all the water and stuff. In situations like that, it's the Lord that did it. Right? When a child is in ICU for some sickness or something, the Lord is the one that heals them. When an elderly person is in ICU for some sickness, for COVID-19, it's the Lord that got you through that, right? A lot of times we're so prideful and we'll say it was us. Like we'll say, I beat cancer. I beat it. I'm a warrior. I beat cancer, right? When it was the Lord who healed you. It was the Lord that gave you, it's the Lord that, gave you that mercy for you to live another day. Is there anything else on that? Good, sorry. It is? Live, sir. You can drop that. Give me 1 Timothy 6 and 8. We got I see 15 people here, man. Go ahead and share the class. Share the class because when I get to this topic, I'm going to blow it out the water. Let you know right now. You believe you're Egyptian. You believe the Bible plagiarized the 42 laws of Ma'at. You got another thing coming. We're going to use some practical knowledge to cut that lie.
Sorry, 1 Timothy 6 and 8?
Yeah, 1 Timothy 6 and 8.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 8. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Verse 9.
Good night. Go up, if you could, go up one precept. 6 and 8, go to 6 and 7. Let me see what that says.
Okay. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 7. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
Listen, we didn't bring nothing. We was born with nothing in this world, man. And that's why that goes back to, when Captain Tazariak, where he's talking to Ye, and I'm listening to Ye, and Ye sounds like just another lost brother in the world, man. He sounds just like a regular brother in the world that's trying to find his way. And he's got all these riches and all of those things that you can't take with you, right? But right now he's in the arena. He's in front of a prophet of God, right? And he has the chance to change. He had the chance. And see, this is the thing. this is the thing. I don't want to sidebar, but Ye was going off the Richter in that interview. I mean, he was rambling. He was talking about a lot of different things. I don't want to say off the Richter. That sounds crazy, right? He was talking about a lot of different things. But when he got to Captain Tazariak, it's almost like he kind of like zeroed in and focused a little more because of the way Captain Tazariak was carrying himself and the way he asked those questions and just his decorum in the energy. Ye was like, he told a joke. He was like, I don't know, you don't sound too like you got a lot of energy. And that's just a UPK. That's just one West, right? Everything ain't funny, and everything ain't funny. Everything, when you're focused and you got a mission to complete, you're not focused a lot of times on all the BS, right? Captain Tazariak was just trying to ask those questions and get straight to the meat, cut through everything else and get straight to the meat, man. But when I listen to this brother, I was like, damn, he sounds like every other brother, man. He sounds like just a regular brother that's lost that needs this truth. But he won't get it getting bits and pieces from fake Israelites in the world, right? He's still going to think he's a Christian and say that black people are the 12 tribes of Judah, right? And say that white lives matter all at the same time, right? Go ahead and read it from the top.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 7. For we brought nothing into this world.
We bring nothing into this world, right? So you look at these rich people. You look at these people with money. And a lot of people with money think that is, that is the thing that is going to, that they're going to carry with them when they go to their grave. That's not how we come into this earth. We don't come into this earth with material things. All we come into this earth with is, us. Go ahead.
For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
The Bible says it's certain you can't carry nothing out. The Egyptians thought they could carry things out of this world, right? The Egyptians, they when they buried the Egyptians, what they would do, they buried the Pharaoh. I ain't gonna just say the Egyptians because really, a lot of people get it twisted, and they apply the things that apply to the pharaohs to all Egyptians, and that's not how it worked. But when the pharaohs died, what happened was they would not only bury the pharaoh, but they would bury him with his chariots, with the servants, with the house animal, the cat, the dog, gold, everything. They would bury everything because they looked at it like they're going to carry all of this stuff to the other life. And see, it's kind of like if you could think about you having a lot of materials and you just like, when I want you to bury me. When I die, I want you to bury me with my Cadillac, bury me with my gold ring, my chains, everything, all of my possessions. Man, bury me. Matter of fact, dig a big hole and bury me in my house, my whole house. I want everything I own to be buried as though you can take it with you. Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 8. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
Having food and raiment, be content. This is the thing that black people don't understand. This is why we build these schools. This is why this is the whole point of us having these classes is to usher in God's chosen people, man. Because at the end of the day, when the money system falls, when America falls, the only thing we're going to have is brotherhood, right? And it's going to be the basic necessities. Read that again. The basic necessities is what's going to get us through. It won't be a Bentley, a Rolls Royce, a red bottom shoes, Gucci, Balenciaga. It won't be that's going to get you through. It won't be your bank account that's going to get you through. It won't be your, none of that. Go ahead, read it. Read it again.
Verse 8. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
Having food and raiment, having food and clothes, let us be content. A lot of y'all can't even understand that. Right. You so materialistic and superficial, you can't even understand, worrying about being thankful for the basic necessities that you do got. Right? The Bible says, hold that. The Bible says that a man is never satisfied, right? Let me get that for you. Let me get it for you. Give me what I want. Proverbs 27. 27 and 20. Come on. 27 and 20.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 20. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied.
Hell and destruction are never full. Hell and destruction are never full. We're destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We are always destroyed, right? We are a destroyed people. We are a people that basically we look at us being dysfunctional and destroyed as being normal. That's just being black. Right. We look at being destroyed and dysfunctional as part of being black. You get what I'm saying? So just think about that. We look at the dysfunctions within the black community as a stereotype for being black. And it's cool. Like we have the saying, like, you're not black enough. This nigga don't even act black. Why? Because he can speak proper, because he likes to do all his assignments in class. So he's not black because his pants ain't hanging off his ass. He's not black. You understand? So a lot of the dysfunctions within our community is how we actually view ourselves. We look at ourselves like that's being black. That's being real. You know what I'm saying? If you could read it one more time, because it was a point I wanted to make. I'm gonna make that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 20. Hell and destruction are never full.
Hell and destruction are never full. So in the Christian church, they say that hell is this place underground that's burning in fire, and you burn for eternity. And you got Satan with the pitchfork, and you're just being tormented. Hell is a condition. Hell is the condition that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians live in. We live in a low state in America. We live in a low state in the West Indies. In Europe, we live in hell most of the time. Wherever you find us, whatever continent we're on, we live in a hellish condition. Hell, or that whole idea comes from a book, or the Catholic Church, but from a book called Dante's Inferno. There is no real hell, right? How we done grew up to believe. And there is no real heaven, how we grew up to believe, like it being in the clouds, and you walk up to the clouds on this white staircase and go into these pearly gates. That is not true. That is not in the Bible. All right. Keep going.
Verse 21. Mm-hmm. As the finding pot for silver and the furnace for gold.
You can stop that. I think I missed something. Go back one more time and read it from the top. Where the eyes are never satisfied.
Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied.
So the eyes of men are never satisfied. This going back. Now go back where you was before. Where was it you at? Ecclesiastes. So,
First Timothy.
Like people we're never satisfied, right? We're never satisfied. And so you would tell Black and Hispanic people, like, you should be worried about the basic necessities. That's where your focus should be. But because the eyes are never satisfied, you're not satisfied, you're complaining. You're upset. You got to find your purpose. You're trying to you're trying to figure out, I gotta get rich scheme. A get rich quick scheme. You're not satisfied, so you don't see that all of the things that you need that will allow a person to just live, you got them. You got them. And the fact that you got them isn't enough. See, because you're never satisfied. You want more and more. You take on the spirit of your oppressor. He wants more and more. He wants to gobble up more land, more this, more that. It's just not enough. When the Lord is telling you, be thankful for the things that you got. There's always somebody that's doing worse than you in the world. Right. Always. So when you talk about what you don't got, even in America, as a black man or a black woman, Hispanic man, Hispanic woman, you complain about the things you don't got. You can find millions of people that don't have nowhere near the things that you got, that have a more happier life with the basics. Right? Go ahead and read that again.
First Timothy or Proverbs?
First Timothy. Is that where we yeah.
The book of First Timothy, chapter 6 and verse 7. For we brought nothing in this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
We're not carrying nothing out of this world. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 8. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
That's it. Okay. That was verse what?
Verse 8.
Be thankful for the things you got, man. Be thankful for what you do got. And what I'm saying is, be thankful for the things you got. I'm not saying that you can't want more. I'm not saying that you can't, be a very successful business person. What I'm saying is that we get caught up in the materialism in America, and then all of a sudden, we got things that people want, but we're not even thankful for that. We got things that, listen, this could literally feed. Some of y'all got so much stuff, you need to give it away. Some of y'all got so many damn clothes and so many damn shoes, you need to give it away. But here you complaining about your life and what you ain't got. Man, you're spoiled, right? You don't understand the ways of the world. And listen, when it comes to this truth, when America falls, we got brothers and sisters we can lean on. You understand that? I pray you understand that. We got brothers and sisters, we got a network that we can lean on. Because there's going to be a time when there's no food on the store shelf. You got a little glimpse of it during COVID-19. I don't know why everybody was going crazy for toilet paper, but what you seen was there was a lot of things lacking on those store shelves. But just imagine going into a store and there's nothing on the shelves. Imagine that. Where are you going to go? Who are you going to look to? You think that it's going to America, the way America is right now, if there was a famine, right? If there was a famine and a government shutdown, do you think that America would still be that diverse place that you see on TV or that you see in school? It won't. What is going to happen is people are going to go to their own. They're going to be with their own, and they're going to protect their own. That's what it will go back to, right? It won't be, we are the world holding hands and joining hands. It won't be none of that. You know how I know that? Because that happened in Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina happened, flooded Louisiana, and guess what? White people were hunting black people, shooting at them on sight without no questions asked. You better snap up out of it. You better snap out of that damn dream. I'll tell you that much. Right. You don't know what's coming. You don't know the type of oppressor that you have that's up over. You think things have changed. You think we live in a post-racial society. You think, well, race, that's not a big deal anymore. It will be a big deal if there's a famine. You will need to call on your brothers and sisters. You will need the Lord to be with you in a time like that. That was it on it. We're going to drop that. Give me Luke 16 and 13. Come. Right? Hey, Shalom Bar, what's good? 5,000, what's good, brother? Can't wait to see you at the Passover.
The book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse 13.
Lord willing. Remember that. Go ahead.
The book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse 13. No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate one and love the other.
Right.
Or else he would hold the one and despise the other. I don't know if I wanted that.
Maybe that's not the right precept that I want to bring up. There's a story. They was talking about it. This story is pretty old with the sister. The sister that was beat by the white man. If you could give me an article on that. The white man, he just got off with like 4 months. He beat the hell out of the sister, hitting her all in her face. But the sister put her hands on him. But that I'm not saying that the sister deserved it, but I'm gonna break it down real quick. See if I can pull up a picture real quick of this white man, this devil that put the sister.
So like,
the story?
Was it in a Florida gas station?
Yeah, it looked like it was at a gas station. Got it?
It's loaded.
So like, yeah, we might not be able to I might not be able to get that story as far as the video.
So like, I got the story.
All right, go ahead, give it to me.
White man arrested after violently attacking black woman in Florida gas station.
But this is this talking about the fact that he just got like, I think it was like 4 or 5 months probation or something like that. He just basically got off. He didn't get punished. I don't want the original story, but I want what just happened. I think it was probably a couple of days ago where they came down with a verdict. If somebody knows, put it in the chat for me. The water in advance. If you could, I just want to speak on that a little bit. Speak on that. This I don't know what the situation was, but this white woman, so this white man, so like it, he was getting into it with a sister, but the brother just sent me something. Let me see. Oh yeah, Most High in Christ. The sister was in an argument with this white man. I think she lunged at him or hit him on the video, and then he just started to haul off on her like the MMA. First, he knocked her phone down. I believe he knocked her phone down. She hit at him. She hit him, and he just started. And you can see the sister brace for him about to hit her, and he just was welling on the sister. Then he kicked her phone again, I think, and he just got off. You ain't got the article?
Nah, it's not showing them nothing recent. They're all from like May, July.
Okay.
So like,
the sister, I don't know, like somebody is recording that. And I said to myself, brother, if I was there, that I would have drugged that Edomite for the way he was just pummeling that sister in her face. And it just goes to show you that as a woman, you cannot fight a man, right? A lot of times you have to recognize when a man is upset and just stand down, just back off. Don't be that sister. And let me just say, a lot of sisters would do this to a brother, but she did it to a devil. And we see that this devil just got off. So for the people that believe in the justice system, black people that believe in what's right and wrong and believe in America and you patriotic, it just shows you that we don't live in a post-racial society with how this devil just got off with beating the hell out of this sister. Like, if you've seen the video, it's so infuriating. You watched the video?
She like knocked his item off the thing.
She knocked something off of what?
Like, he had a 6-pack of beer.
He had a 6-pack of beer?
She knocked it off the thing. He just started welling.
She knocked his 6-pack of beer. He started welling on her, right? And what we got to understand is that these people are diabolical. He took out all his frustration on that sister. And like I said, if I was there, I wouldn't have been recorded. Trust and believe. Somebody else would have been recorded. I would have went. That would have been that would have been one for the cause. So like it, I would have been in council telling Captain Dahar, listen, I couldn't, I had to do that one. I'll take the check-in. I'll take whatever is coming. But I wasn't finna sit there and let him hit that sister. Oh well, you know he just passed away. Oh well, sister, all right. You understand? Like we gotta have a certain type of love for one another instead of just pulling out a phone and video recording. Now I think whoever was recording, I believe it was a woman's voice, so it probably was another sister recording. But I'm not going to record. It's not. You're not going to do. And it ain't just about a sister. It's just about you have a certain type of love for your people. You have a certain type of spirit for your people. And when you see them getting done wrong, you know right from wrong. And it ain't nothing. It's nothing wrong with intervening and stopping something. And if you got to use force, then that's what it is. But there's nothing wrong with saving your people from some damn aggressor. You understand? So, where we at? Let's see. Let's get into it. Is the Ten Commandments? Is the Ten Commandments from the 42 laws of Ma'at? You got that paper I read? I gave you. Come on, Colin. So let me before you start. This sister just said, and as sisters, we have to know our place. Why she knock his beard down? You right, sis. Asalaki, I don't know if this is your sis or Akim, but you're right. Like that's why I said this is something that sisters would do to a black man, right? This happens inside black households, but the outcome is a black man knocking a sister's teeth out and going to jail for domestic violence. As a woman, you gotta understand, like, you can't put your hands on men. And I'm not talking about with this situation. I'm just talking about within our community. You gotta recognize that if it's a heated conversation, and I'm not talking about a relationship. I'm talking about just you're out with your friends. You're somewhere. Y'all at a gathering. You somewhere. You get into it with a brother or with some misunderstanding, and you see he's getting agitated. Just let it go. Just back up because you're a woman, right? And you know what a man can do. Don't be the aggressor as a sister. Be the sister that other sisters look at and say, I like how she handled that. And that's the same way I would have handled that. Right? Go ahead.
This paper is cut.
I want you to this one right here. I want you to read this one. So what is Ma'at? Right? We're gonna get into it. And let me just tell you this. I have not done a deep study in this. As a child, I thought that black people were Egyptians. A lot of black people today, we adhere to being Egyptians. We really think that we were the Egyptians, and there's just not any evidence to support that. And it's not just black Americans. It's not just Negroes. It's also, of course, it's Europeans believe they were the Egyptians. And today, the people in the land that live in the land through conquest, the Arabs, they believe they're the Egyptians too. Of course, they believe they're Egyptians, right? So go ahead and give me that.
Ma'at was the goddess of truth, justice, balance, and most importantly, order. In paintings, she was depicted as a woman who was either sitting or standing with an ostrich feather on her head, and in some cases, she was depicted with wings. According to the creation myths, Ma'at was created when Ra arose from the waters of Nun, chaos. Ma'at was often considered to be the daughter of Ra and was married to Thoth, goddess of wisdom, god of wisdom.
Okay.
However, Ma'at was more than just a goddess to the ancient Egyptians. She represented the crucial concept of how the universe was maintained. The ancient Egyptians believed the universe had an order to it, and it was Ma'at who kept everything in balance.
Hold on. So Ma'at was a goddess of truth, of justice and balance, right? And so it was depicted as a woman. If I could, let me see. I might have a picture. Go ahead and keep reading. Wait, hold on 1 second, because I'm gonna have you start all the way over, right?
Come on.
So like, y'all bear with me. Let's get it. We're gonna go live. We're gonna go live. Go ahead.
Start from the top.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ma'at was the goddess of truth, justice, balance, and most importantly, order. In painting, she was depicted as a woman who was either sitting or standing with an ostrich feather on her head, and in some cases, she was depicted with wings. According to the creation myths, Ma'at was created when Ra arose from the waters of Nun, chaos. Ma'at was often considered to be the daughter of Ra and was married to Thoth.
Ma'at. So when you say Ma'at, make sure you emphasize that T.
Come on, Ma'at was often considered to be the daughter of Ra and was married to Thoth, god of wisdom. However, Ma'at was more than just a goddess to the ancient Egyptians. She represented the crucial concept of how the universe is maintained. The ancient Egyptians believed the universe had an order to it, and it was Ma'at who kept everything in balance. This helped the ancient Egyptians develop a strong sense of morality and justice. Ma'at was extremely important in achieving the afterlife. According to the ancient Egyptian mythology, after the death of the body, everyone had to pass through the hall of judgment, where a person's heart was weighed on a scale against Ma'at's father of truth.
So this is what you're looking at right now. It's the hall of judgment. If you look right in the center, you see where a person's heart is weighed against the feather on a scale. So this was Ma'at. This is what a lot of people, a lot of black people in America adhere to, believe that the 42 laws of Ma'at, and we're going to get to that. The 42 laws of Ma'at, the 10 commandments came from that. And so what you see is in the afterlife, you would go to the afterlife to Anubis, and your heart would be weighed, and they would see if you did anything. And we're going to get to these declarations, these negative declarations, in a second. Where you at?
Ma'at was extremely important.
Basically, go ahead and continue.
Ma'at was extremely important in achieving the afterlife. According to ancient Egyptian mythology, after the death of the body, everyone had to pass through the hall of judgment, where a person's heart was weighed on a scale against Ma'at's feather of truth. If the deceased person's heart balanced with Ma'at's feather, they could continue their journey to the afterlife. If not, their journey ended.
Right. So now what I want you to do is we're basically going to read the 42 laws of Ma'at. So go ahead and read them out. So what we want to, so maybe what we should do is get the 10 commandments first. Right? So that'll be what? Exodus 20 and 1, I believe. We'll start there. Exodus 20 and 1. We'll read the 10 commandments, and then we'll do a comparison. We'll just do a basic comparison with the 10 commandments versus the 42 laws of Ma'at. And then I'll bring out some things about that. But while you get that, what I want to talk about is that when it comes to ancient Egypt, see, America, the founders, they built America like ancient Egypt. And so that's why there's so many similarities. If you ever ask yourself, why are there pyramids on the dollar bill? Or if you ever ask yourself, when you look at the memorial, the Lincoln Memorial, why is Lincoln sitting like a pharaoh? Or why do they have an obelisk? It's because America is set up like ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt had the 12 tribes of Israel, right, as hands. Well, they called them hands, but they would have been slaves. And they built the treasure cities, which is Pithom and Ramesses, the cities where they stored things at, right? These were treasure cities. America's treasure cities are the cities you know as New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Miami, built by blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indian people, right? Built by the slave class of America. So they set up this kingdom that is exactly like the ancient kingdom of Egypt. And so a lot of people have an affinity for ancient Egypt. And like I said, black people in America think we're Egyptians, but that's not it. Europeans think they are Egyptians, and the Arabs today think they are Egyptians. The Arabs that live in Egypt today, who found themselves in Egypt through Islamic conquest in the 7th century, right? And so even if we're talking about the so-called Jews, and when I go into the history of the so-called Jews and I show you like they are converts, but it's been so many years, they don't know any better because it's been thousands of years that they've been, living this lie. It's the same for the people that are in Egypt today. They've been living in ancient Egypt, so not ancient, but Egypt, and so they think that they are those people, right? When the Egyptians were from the sons of Ham. They were a Hamitic people. They were Africans. Mizraim in the Bible, right? And so we have such an affinity, but you got to understand when it comes to black people in America, when they started digging up the Sphinx and King Tut's tomb and all of that, we were still in slavery. We were just coming out of slavery, right? And so the European man in America romanticizes about Egypt so much, and he's made so many movies and so many books that you can see that they have a love for that antiquity. And as a child, I don't know how many black people as a child, but I know as a child in elementary school they had books on ancient Egypt, and one of our required readings was ancient Egypt. So that's how I fell in love with ancient Egypt. But it wasn't until I became an adult that I realized that black people in America that came from West Africa are not the Egyptians, right? Go ahead.
They even depict this whole weighing of the heart in a show, Moon Knight, the Disney series. Have you seen it?
Nah.
But it's basically based off Egyptian mythology. But they depict that whole thing like they on a boat and they can't get to the underworld unless their heart balances out. Right. So the dude, he was a missionary. So he had to fix everything that he had did wrong before going.
And you said the name of this Disney, it's a movie or a cartoon?
Series. It's Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. It's a new series that's reoccurring right now, or it's older?
It's new. It's fairly new. I think it came out this year, but it's like, what's his name? It's like one of those series where you take a character and just make it into a series.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's been so much literature, movies made on ancient Egypt, but let's get and just to go in with that. I want you to read this book real quick, because I want people to see this. So this book is called "The Black Image and the White Mind," right? The debate on Afro-American character and destiny, 1817 to 1914. So if you ever want to get this book, let me see if it focuses in. There we go. And I want you to read. Start at page 75, right here. So what this is Morton. He was a craniologist, somebody that they used to dig up Egyptians, look at their skulls, and different people. This is during the period of scientific racism. When it says you got the Negroid, Caucasoid, and the Mongoloid. Go ahead.
Okay. This is page 75 out of the book, The Black Image and the White Mind. The racial significance of Egyptian tomb inscriptions in Crania Aegyptica.
Egyptica. Crania Aegyptica.
Crania Aegyptica, published in 1844. Morton pointed out that both cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not Negroes.
Say that again.
Morton pointed out that both cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not Negroes.
He pointed out that cranial and archaeological evidence that through that evidence that Egyptians were not Negroes. This is during the time of racism, of when black people were just coming out of slavery. During that time, any of y'all seen Django? When he pulled out the skull he pulled out the skull of one of the slaves that he had died. That was the father of Samuel L. Jackson. If I'm not mistaken, go read that one more time because this needs to hit home. Right?
The racial significance of Egyptian tomb inscriptions in Crania Egyptica.
He said the racial significance of Egyptian tomb inscriptions. Go ahead.
In Crania Egyptica, published in 1844, Morton pointed out that both cranial and archaeological evidence.
So when they were studying the cranial, meaning they were studying the skulls, and they were studying, archaeology, the evidence that they found when they was digging up. Go ahead.
Cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not Negroes, as abolitionists and colonizationists had maintained.
So abolitionists and colonizationists had maintained Egyptians were Negroes. So they wanted to know who are these people we had on plantations. They thought that these people that they had on plantations were Egyptians. Go ahead.
Were not Negroes as abolitionists and colonizationists had maintained, and that in fact blacks had been relegated to the same servile.
I want you to read that a little louder. In fact, blacks have what?
And that in fact blacks had been relegated to the same servile position in ancient Egypt as in modern America.
So they said that the black people that they had in America, they were not Egyptians. Or the way they said it was Egyptians were not Negroes. And that the black people that they did have in slavery, they were basically relegated to the same servile position in America as in ancient Egypt. They came to the understanding that these people that we had in slavery, they're not the Egyptians, but they're in a situation in America similar to where they were in ancient Egypt, meaning they were the slave class in ancient Egypt, and they're the slave class in America. You had a question?
So I had the definition of relegated.
Go ahead, give me that. Definition of relegated.
To consign or dismiss to an inferior rank or position.
Right. So they were put at an inferior position. So we have this affinity as black people that we are the Egyptians. When there is no archaeology, there's nothing that shows that Egyptians migrated through the interiors of Africa to West Africa and then were put on slave ships and landed in America. But there is archaeology, and I got a first-hand account. I'll bring it out next week. I got a first-hand account from somebody living during slavery in West Africa to show you that Israelites did go into the interiors of Africa, were in West Africa, and were put on slave ships and ended up in America. You can drop that. Let's get the Exodus 20. For time's sake, let's get Exodus 20 real quick. Let's get them 10 commandments. And then we're going to get these 42 laws of Ma'at. And we're going to compare both of them. Excuse me. We're going to compare and see that the 10 commandments come from the 42 laws of Ma'at. Was it plagiarized?
So you want me to start at verse 1 or 13?
That's what I want. Give me what I want. Is it 13? Where we start with thou shalt not have any no other gods than me. Is that?
Come on, I just start from
1. Okay.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, and verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, verse 2, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Okay.
Thou shalt not have no other gods before me.
Right.
Verse 4, thou shalt not make unto
thou
thee.
shalt not have any other gods before me. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above.
No graven images, no idols. Go ahead.
Or that is in earth that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of thy Lord God in vain. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. For the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Remember the Sabbath. Don't take the Lord's name in vain. Keep going.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Verse 13, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Verse 17, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off.
You can stop that. That was it, right? Now I want you to give me the 42 laws of mine. Then I'm gonna hit them with something.
These are the 42 divine principles of my
So let me give you a precursor. So as he reads it, what I want you to understand is that this is when supposedly you go to the underworld. Now the 42 laws of Ma'at come out of the Book of the Dead, right? So as he's reading it, think about the picture I just showed you. Let me put it up again. Where you're going to the underworld, the afterlife, and your heart is being weighed, and then you're making these declarations. These are the things you're saying. Go ahead.
The 42 divine principles of Ma'at in Buddhist native English follows. I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain men or women. I have not stolen food. I have not swindled offerings. I have not stolen from God/goddess. I have not told lies. I have not carried away food. I have not cursed. I have not closed my ears to truth. I have not committed adultery. I have not made anyone cry. I have not felt sorrow without reason. I have not assaulted anyone. I am not deceitful. I have not stolen anyone's land. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not falsely accused anyone. I have not polluted myself. I have not terrorized anyone. I have not disobeyed the law. I have not been exclusively angry. I have not cursed God/goddess. I have not behaved with violence. I have not caused disruption of peace. I have not acted hastily or without thought. I have not overstepped my boundaries of concern. I have not exaggerated my words when speaking. I have not worked evil. I have not used evil thoughts, words, or deeds. I have not polluted the water. I have not spoken angrily or arrogant. I have not cursed anyone in thought, words, or deeds. I have not placed myself on a pedestal. I have not stolen what belongs to God/goddess. I have not stolen from or disrespected the deceased, and I have not taken food from a child.
So these are a lot of laws. These are a lot of things that as a person, as a regular person, you wouldn't want done to you. It talks about not committing sin, that you haven't stolen, that you have not carried away food, you have not cursed anyone, you have not made anybody cry, you have not worked evil, you have not, cursed a god or a goddess, right? So let me hit you with something. When it comes to the things that have been said, right? I have not polluted myself. Let me just read some of them. I read some of them. I have not polluted water. I don't know what the hell that means, but I'm not deceitful. I understand that. These are, you can go to any nation, any ancient nation, and just with human nature and being a human, right? And let's just say this is some tribe that's just, even in this time, a tribe that lives somewhere in the bushes and in the Amazon somewhere. I'm sure they have laws just like this. I'm sure you can't steal a man's pig. There's going to be some consequences. Somebody's going to come see about that. I'm sure that you can't take a man's wife. I'm sure of it. That's real practical. It's real simple. It's almost funny that we think this, and so a lot of people what they say is that the 42 laws of Ma'at predate Moses, and a lot of people that believe that the Ten Commandments came from this, they think that Moses wrote the Ten Commandments. Not only that, here's a news flash for all of you that think that it's not just 10 commandments; it's 613 commandments. Did it say anything in there about homosexuality? Give me Leviticus 20 and 13. See, the laws of God are very specific. The laws of God will keep you from destroying yourself. The 42 laws of Ma'at is a declaration that you didn't do these things, but we know that everybody at one point in time have done something like that as a child or as even a teenager. So are you really telling the truth when you go to get your heart weighed? I don't think so. Go ahead.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination.
So if a man lie with another man, both of them have committed abomination. I didn't see that in the 42 laws of Ma'at. I didn't see what to eat and what not to eat in the 42 laws of Ma'at. You understand what I'm saying? It's real simple, real practical. It's lightweight. It's not really hard to show you that the 42 law, the 10 commandments are the 613 commandments didn't come from the 42 laws of Ma'at. Every nation has laws, and these laws overlap. You understand? I'm pretty sure you can go to any ancient kingdom and they'll have a law that says don't steal. They'll have a law that says don't be deceitful. They'll have something that says don't be a liar or a swindler. Right? And it's real simple. But at the same time, to say that comes from that is very vague. So if I was to say that the Aborigines in some faraway country in some damn bush, had, some rules, and some of them overlap the 42 laws of Ma'at and say, oh, somewhere, some way, they got that from the 42 laws of Ma'at. That's very vague. And you can't stand on that. It's not specific enough. Well, the laws of God are very specific. The laws of God are very specific on how to treat your brother, how to treat your sister, on what to eat, what not to eat, on the type of lifestyle to live and not to live. I just showed you. There's nothing in this. We can read it again. There's nothing in this to tell you what to eat and what not to eat. How to govern yourself. How to, control yourself from unnatural, vile sexual lust. But see, in ancient Egypt, they had they have a story of the gods, having sex with each other. So I'm not surprised that wouldn't be in there. And furthermore, the 42 laws of Ma'at, they were not something that was just all Egyptians knew. These were found in funeral, these were found in sarcophagus, on the walls of tombs, on certain people. So this wasn't something that was like all Egyptians knew. And so these are laws that are put together for a book or the purpose of some European putting them together and getting the credit. And black people in America have taken them and said, "Oh, these are the 42 laws of my God. You see this? It says don't sin, don't do that. See, the Ten Commandments came from this." But I'm just showing you have a Christian understanding because Christianity calls it the Ten Commandments. But if you really open the Bible, there's 613 commandments. So that kills your argument right there. And furthermore, it doesn't go into other parts of your life, your dietary life, right? Your how can I say it? Moral life. It gives you a very vague glimpse, and these are declarations. These are not laws and rules like the Ten Commandments. This is somebody saying, "I didn't do this. I didn't do this." On the afterlife, the Bible, the God of the Bible is the God of the living. These rules, the 613 commandments on what to eat, what not to eat, how to live, how not to live, how to treat your brothers and your sisters. These are for people that are alive. These are for people that are walking, breathing, and alive. The 42 laws of Ma'at is declarations after you're dead, like the Book of the Dead, after you're dead, on how to navigate the underworld. It's no comparison. I'm sorry, but it's no comparison. And it just exposes people for not reading and being parrots, for hearing something like a damn parrot and repeating it and never ever doing no research. I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to be, me, I'm all about truth. This is the ISUPK. We're all about truth. We're all about, studying, reading, scholarship. That's just it. And what I just did right here, it was very simple. Anybody could have did it. It took me 2 days to do it. And I did it while I was at work, right? I did it while I was multitasking at work, right? Driving a truck, multitasking. And I was able to figure out, just research the 42 laws of Ma'at and read them and say, well, any community, any ancient place, any bushmen would have some laws that would be similar and they would overlap. They would be damn near the same. What was you gonna say?
So these are like classroom rules.
What did you say?
These are like classroom rules.
Now this is a young man. He's in high school. He said these are like classroom rules. A lot of them are just like classroom rules, like bread and butter. Ain't that something? Right? He's in high school and he's saying the 42 laws of Ma'at is like being in high school. It's like some of these rules are just like this is what they got written on the wall. The point is that these rules are these things that you're saying you haven't done. You definitely done them. So if you did them, then what? You go to weigh your heart in the underworld, but you definitely have sinned. You definitely have messed with somebody, woman. You have polluted yourself. Then what? So it's really no comparison. In the laws in the Bible, like the law, the first one you read about having no other gods, those laws were directly against, a lot of them were directly against what the Egyptians believed in. Right. Because the Egyptians believed in many gods. If you can look it up for me real quick, Egyptians, I think they believed in like thousands of gods, right? It wasn't just one God. It was a God for everything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And a hair God, an eye God, a hippopotamus God, all kind of gods, right? And so there it is. Like with basic practical knowledge, that idea has been crushed. So like, wait, hold on. Gabar Ya Allah, Yashala. I know you're not in the ISUPK. Why can't I show my eyes when I teach? Wait, everybody in here needs to follow GMS. They the only can. Gabar get the hell out of here. And for that, listen, you sound like a homosexual. You sound like a homosexual. Listen, hold on. Let me just get this because I'm finna go in. This brother just came on here and said everybody needs to listen to GMS. Listen, this was years ago when I came into the truth. They had a video with the elders of GMS saying that they could sleep with 13-year-old girls. Now the elders of GMS went off. They came out of One West, but your elders went off, and they said they can sleep. Let me ask you this: Are you a child molester? I think you might be. You might be a child molester. Listen, this nigga said, "Why I got glasses on? Why can't nobody look in my eye?" Listen, a lot of people ask us, "Why do we wear glasses?" I wear glasses, and every brother you see, and it's not all the time, but we wear shades in class or wherever you see us at because it's a tradition of the school. It's a tradition that was passed down, and there's no law against a tradition. You understand? There's no law. This is a tradition of One West. This is a tradition of the high priest of the school. Listen, the chief high priestess of the school, and those brothers that was in the school in the beginning, and there's no law against it. Why in the hell are you in a fake Israelite group that thinks they can rape 13-year-old girls, nigga? Right. Don't come up in here, you get embarrassed, nigga. Isupk is the home of the truth. That's right. I know, sis. I know y'all fine with the glasses. I know you fine, but I just have to let that peon know why and what in the hell? Why in the hell would you even come in my class and even try to challenge the Isupk on wearing glasses, and then try to tell people to go to GMS? You brothers over there looking like you got t-shirts on. Your garments look like somebody like you being blown out of the Stone Ages, Fred Flintstone or some goddamn shit. So like it, But we're going to get back to my eye, all right? We're going to get back to that. And I'm going to keep the shades on. And Isupk, we wear the shades, but we don't break the laws of God. We don't say that you can molest little girls. You might as well be in Islam. What Muhammad had a little girl. He had a wife that was 9 years old. That's what you might as well be in, man. Come in my goddamn class talking about why ain't nobody in GMS. Don't nobody even know what GMS is down there anymore. You need to go join the Purple Faggots. That's what you go join the Purple Faggots and stand in front of Barclays Center and protest for Kyrie Irving or something. What the hell are you talking about? You got what I wanted?
The ancient Egyptians worshipped over 1,400 different gods and goddesses in their shrines.
They worship how many?
1,400 different gods and goddesses in their shrines, temples, and homes.
The ancient Egyptians worship 1,400 different gods. 1,400 different gods. And the Ten Commandments, or the first commandment, was telling you, thou shalt have no other God but me. So that was a straight cut to the ancient Egyptians because they had gods for everything. Everything. So like, listen, you come up in my class, you're going to get flamed. You fake Israelites try me. I'm going to flame you. You understand? And I'm waiting for one of these purple cats to come in. I'm going to turn your purple ass into a grape. I'm going to flame you with the truth, with the things that then happen up under the umbrella of your fake Israelite group. And I believe you can go and Google it right now. You can go and Google. GMS says that they can sleep with 13-year-old girls. He ain't said nothing else. Let me look at the chat. Yeah, he gone. Flame. Listen, this is the Isupk under commanding General Yohana, man. We teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, you are the true chosen people of the Most High.
Right.
Man, we love our people. We we go out there and we war, and we want to teach our people the truth. We want our people to come into this truth. We want our people to hear this message, but you won't hear it from no goddamn fake Israelite group.
Right.
You won't hear it, in no Christian church. You won't hear it anywhere but in these classes, physically or on the online. That's the only way you're going to get this truth, by actually sitting here and listening. You can't just skim through YouTube and try to, get some understanding for yourself. And listen, where there is no law, there is no sin.
Right.
And I'm gonna end with that. All right, let's clap it up. Clap it up. Hey, shalom, Israel. Tawada for rocking with me. We'll be back next Wednesday, and I'll have that proof. I have those receipts for black people, firsthand account of black people saying that they're Israelites in West Africa. All right, we up out of here.